adequate. That was adequate. That was about right for daylight saving time. That happened today. Daylight saving time. That'll make you want to taste the business end of a shotgun. Could that be more depressing? I hate this day. It's the worst. I'm in the worst mood. It's the only reason I'm out here, because I need to talk to another human being about this shit. I'm not even kidding. It's so depressing. It's horrible. I grew up in Ohio. I moved out to California because I hate the cold and the wet, and I hate this bullshit. And now I'm living here amongst the Long Islanders, which I love you people. You're not the problem. You're awesome. I need to learn something about myself, so God put me in your world. I don't think I was mean enough. I was way too nice. I was way too nice. So the Lord God said, put his ass in Long Island. Let's beat that little fucker up. I buy lottery tickets. No. I'm buying scratch-offs. Sweet Jesus! I'm stopped for a pack of like $1 million cigarettes tonight because they're spending that money so great with your friggin' tax code. And this lady in front of me, like, I'm already gonna get raped, right? When you buy a pack of cigarettes, it's like, yeah, I know, just go ahead. It's for the kids, though. The kids need to book. All this tax money goes to kids' education. Yes, it does. They're going to college off me. Here's $25. So I can get sick when I'm old. The lady in front of me. I'll take 2 24s, 3 number 5s. Give me the 50, 12 11s. Give me 13 24s. I'll have 5 9s and a 12. 8 11s and a 44. So I'm going to kill you, bitch. I'm going to choke you out and just take all your money. You're throwing your money away. I'm going to scratch off. I'm tired of eating generic cereal. Stop with the fucking scratch off there. So I'm angry and I'm upset. And I think that's normal. So here I am. I hate, it'll just get worse. Don't steer me to the curve on this attitude I got rolling. I usually go to Target for the fights. That's a good time. You want to have a good time on a Saturday, and are you on a budget? Go to fucking Target. Other people are wasting money on pay-per-view. I got Rita and Jonathan fucking fighting over a sweater! That's entertaining as all shit. So, I didn't want to cuss tonight, but here we go. In for a penny, in for a pound. But it is. It's daylight savings time. And I hate it. And I hate it. And I want it to stop. It got dark today at fucking 4 o'clock, you guys. And that's not even the shortest one yet. This shit's going to get shorter. Well, how does this help farmers? How did this ever help farmers? Let's pretend it's late early. How does that help anybody? I know the earth tilts and shit like that, but how about we just keep it fucking daylight? It's so hard. It's so hard. I moved to California because I wanted the sunshine and the hot and all that. And I grew up in Ohio, and this time of year it's hard. Because what you do mentally is you set little landmarks. You don't just fucking run up Mount Everest. You have a little base camp, and then you go to the fucking next base camp, and that's how you handle winter up here. Like right now, it was like a couple weeks ago, we're like, fuck yeah, Halloween, woo, sexy witch, woo! And we're like, shit, it's cold and wet. What do we got coming up? What do we got? We got something good? Fucking Thanksgiving. Yeah, gobble gobble, bitch, gobble gobble. So now we're hanging on to that. And then that'll be over. You're like, what the fuck? I need something. Give me Christmas. Oh, here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. We'll all pretend to be happy for a day. And then New Year's Eve. Woo! You're going to get a blowjob on New Year's Eve. And then nothing. Please and cold. You're just outside. Remember fucking Halloween? That shit was fun. And you struggle through January. And you struggle through February. And God knows, that's why he made February short. Right? He's like, these fuckers can't take much more of this. Give them a short one. They're getting sad. They're getting really sad. That guy, he was fucking, I saw it the other day. Let's make this in 28 days. And then you get that one nice day in March, right? It gets all nice in March, and the chicks are wearing short shorts and tank tops. Like, fuck yeah, let's dance! And then God goes, ha ha, make you look more snow.
Death metal politics. Death metal. I'm kidding. It's the Loftus Party. That'd be great if there was a show. Death metal politics. We sing like Cookie Monster. We're talking Ross Perot. I don't know why I chose Ross Perot. Okay.
He doesn't seem like the death metal kind of dude, but okay.
I'm Ross Perot. Can I finish, Larry? Can I finish? I miss Ross Perot. Is he alive?
Yeah. Well, I think he turned into the Purdue Chicken Man.
I'm 122 years old. I'm Ross Perot. I'm living in the woods with Keebler Elves. I make Toll House cookies. Can I finish, Larry? Can I finish? God bless that wackadoodle old man. I love him. So we have so much to cover today. Tons to talk about. Oh my gosh, we played a little bit of the set I had last week on the program. I was at Governor's and it was hilarious. And I just want to give a special shout out to that club. That was, every once in a while as a comedian, you run across these perfect moments or close to perfect moments. That night was just hilarious.
Good crowd?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was wonderful. Everything was doing well. I don't want to do too big of a roll up, too much of a preamble. Here's what you and I do, Liberty Gypsy. We do a little pre-show thing where we're talking about, we want to talk about this, we want to talk about that. And I'm always worried that like the really juicy bits we put in our little pre-show talk. However, I think we stumbled across something super interesting. And it's why I'm doing this. It's why I'm doing everything. You and I came to the same realization right about the same time. And and I think it's great. Like episode 1 of this podcast, I said, I'm doing this as an experiment. It's like an artistic, seriously, like an artistic endeavor. I just want to see where it goes. I want to like discover things. I want to stay curious. And you and I both, in talking before the show, we've come to this realization that we don't fit in anywhere.
No, really, we don't.
Like politically, we don't. We have no home.
But I mean, even like politically and every. You know what it did? You know what got me finally? This whole conversation with some of the things that are going on in the press that we're going to get to later. Somebody said, "Well, if you were a real conservative," and my answer was really simple: I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. I have a certain set of guiding principles, but they don't really match up anywhere.
Some genius person on Twitter said this, and I apologize for not saying who it was. They're like, I think they were, I don't know, I think they were libertarian or something. It's like, if I get everything I want politically, so no one gets hurt, it does not affect anyone. However, if the left gets everything they want, I get hurt.
Exactly.
So that's all I can do. So I want to take this idea of not fitting, and I find it very interesting, and maybe this is egotistical, whatever, but we've been kind of carving out our own spot, and that's the positive in all of this. It's like, okay, so somehow I found you and you found me. And we found these other people, and you know, I'm doing the little syndicated show, and like it's kind of like magnets. Like, so now we're working together and we're doing the loftusparty.com, and we've got great bloggers and all this other stuff. So it's like the Loftus Party, it's just a play on words. It was like 30 seconds of thought. It's not
it's not a political party.
It's not a political party, and it's not like party planning. Get your hats and noisemakers.
No.
It's just a stupid double entendre. That's it. That's all it is. But let's steer into this. How do we appeal to the other people who feel like you and I? Because like I want people to leave me alone. So
right.
I don't know how to attract other people who just want to be left alone because they're out doing crap being left alone.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, you know, if you look at, so what is the sort of symbol for the leave me the heck alone people? It's the curled up snake, right?
Which is a really bad call.
I know. We probably need something a little less vicious and something a little more friendly than don't tread on me. It's kind of like, get off my lawn. Something
like a flying tiger that breathes fire.
Exactly. But
you know what? We could sell stuffed animals of that. We really could.
I know.
Of course, we wouldn't have the fire part, but like we would sell a boatload of stuffed animals.
But you could put the little fire coming out of its mouth. Not
yes,
real fire.
We should do another one. We should do another one that has like a rainbow coming out of its butt.
No, we shouldn't.
Oh, just as fun.
As fun.
As fun.
Our
Here's
tiger not only breathes rainbow or breathes fire, it shits rainbows.
Breathes fire, shits rainbows. Already we're off the rails. 6 minutes in. 6 minutes in. We're cussing like sailors. It's awesome.
Wow. Oh.
I'll say this to everyone in this that listens to the show. We're going to make big mistakes. We're going to make huge mistakes. However, there's going to be wonderful things that happen as well. There's going to be probably too much nudity for a lot of people. There's going to be way too much talk about video games. I don't care. I really don't care. Like I'm inviting everybody to be a part of this. Like we are not elitist douchebags.
Not at all.
If you want to participate, we're getting the email system set up. It's wonderful. We're moving forward. And listen, we're literally going to just figure this out as we go along.
Tell us what you love. Tell us what you hate.
I'm not going to kid. I'm going to get a little bit misty-eyed and melancholy now. Going through it hit me last weekend. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't been to the YouTube channel to look at the comments in the longest time. I did a thing on the TV show, YouTube Comment Theater, where we reenacted all the horrible comments. The comments were so sweet and so nice. It made me feel good. Just little things like, thank you so much. You made me smile. This is awesome. Don't stop. Keep going. I'm like, holy crap. Like I've said before, usually it's towards the end of the show. Hey, thanks for subscribing, all that other stuff. And it sounds trite and it sounds just like that's just something you say. But I tell you right now, my hand to God, it's awesome. And there is like a little community going. And I apologize if I've been lax or lame, or you're like, oh wow, he's just now responding to a comment I wrote 6 months ago. I'm truly sorry. I'm really gonna try to be better about it because it makes me feel good. I'm a junkie for that crap.
Well, and I think part of it is, right? I mean, the best parts of your videos are when you just start to laugh because what you're saying is either so spot on, it's ridiculous, or just so ridiculous, it has to be laughed at. You know,
Yay.
We're not angry. We're not calling people names. We're not doing that kind of stuff. Because you can't get people to listen to you if you do that. So there's just that one dude on your Facebook page. I'll call him out. John, you just don't need to comment anymore. We get it.
But that guy is a fierce individual and is doing his thing. Whatever. I just
really,
like it.
John?
And the other people who need to be aware, and this is you probably know, this already because you're on the Facebook page, the Loftus Party, blah blah blah. But like YouTube, the latest video, I thought I stand in the kitchen a lot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people are gonna think that's all I do. Like that's that's all this guy does is stand in his kitchen. So I'm like, oh, I'll remind people that I do interviews. So I showed the interview with Guy Benson, and it was about his book called End of Discussion. And this is the delicious irony in the whole thing. His book is about end of discussion, how certain people on the left just want to end free speech and shut down and label it hate speech, and it's very dangerous, and we should celebrate freedom of speech. So I showed that little clip, just two white guys standing around being nice to one another, not using curse words, and YouTube is like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You've gone too far. So we had to get like as many views as we could in a certain amount of time to lift the restriction so that they would allow us to put an ad in front of it.
Right, because
the ridiculousness of that. So I was thinking about this the other day. Like we think this might be hate speech. So unless you get 1,000 people to look at it right away and be subjected to your hate speech. Like, what if it was hate speech? What if it was like, seriously, let's all dress up like Hitler and beat up a homeless guy? Right? If it was that, they want as many people to see that right away. Their system's flawed.
Well, their system is flawed, and apparently, from everything we saw, it's based on certain hashtags.
Here's what I've noticed, and you can't listen. This is not like the stuff of science fiction. We know that there's software that looks for this kind of thing.
Right.
If Trump, even if it's critical of Trump, in one of the videos on the YouTube channel, if the word Trump is in there, boom, automatically, that's a smackdown. They won't let us monetize that.
But I mean, there's liberal outlets that talk about Trump all the time.
Yes. Now, here's what I've been doing. Like when I do, I work with a lot of liberal people, and they're wonderful people and they're good people. I believe they're just a little misled, right? I firmly believe that our way is the best way. More freedom for everybody, more personal responsibility, smaller government, yada, 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 yada. So you show people these videos, and they know, they're like, well, that's not hurting anybody. That's just good-natured fun. And then you tell them, okay, so they won't let me monetize that, and they're shocked. They're shocked, and that's the wonderful thing about what we're doing.
Right.
Like, people don't believe it. We're not the biggest channel out there. We're small. We're growing. It's going well. However, why would Google, YouTube, the whole thing, why tamp us down? Like, there's people out there with millions of followers. And I could see why you'd want to silence that. But, like, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole with this one. But it's a little disturbing when I know it's happening, so why would they tamp down the little guy? So it just makes me want to try more and redouble my efforts because we're just having fun.
You are like one of the most lighthearted, funny people on the center right that exists, right? You're not angry, you're not screaming, you're not putting people down. Guy Benson is an extremely articulate and very inoffensive individual.
And well thought out. That guy never goes off half-cocked.
No. And I mean, for the two of you to be restricted because you were talking about free speech, oh, the horror. What?
Right? It's too much. It's too much, but it's wonderful, and it's just fuel to my fire. It helps me hop out of bed in the morning and get excited to go and do it again. So I invite everybody to participate, and I'll do it now before the end of the show. We're about 15 minutes in. Like, thank you for participating. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for supporting the loftusparty.com. All of it. Jump in. If you've got something that you think would be a good idea or a bad idea, or you found a little, jump in and we'll start doing that. It's all a grand experiment.
Well, and especially, I was going to say,
we don't have any Koch brother money. We have no media media matters money. We're just a handful of idiots and a bowl full of nickels.
Wow. And just a special shout out and thank you to everyone who shared the video when you heard about the restriction and made sure that other people knew about it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep.
I always love it when the troops get rallied, and it's wonderful. And it's like, and I'm seriously like, it's a wonderful life. It's kind of like that. You're like, wow, if I was really in deep doo-doo, here are some people who would kind of come to the rescue, and it makes you feel good. I have faith in humanity. Okay, so that being said, we got that out of the way. I want to talk about Louis C.K. We'll do that in a little bit. I have a lot of thoughts on Louis C.K. I want to make sure that everything is framed correctly and blah, 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 blah. Some fun stuff. And from the good news department, Trump in China. I think he's having an incredible trip overseas. I thought the Japan thing went well. Did you see that they some country had Donald Trump dress up? They gave him some crazy blue shirt to wear. Mm-hmm. He looked good in the blue shirt. I saw a picture of Melania Trump. She wore some kind of Pan-Asian dress with oh my goodness.
Well, she's just a beautiful lady.
She's just a model. Mm-hmm. She's just a model. But I'm like, there's definitely a tamp down on that. Like, you don't see, like, stunning, like Audrey Hepburn, classic, gorgeous. If that was, and this is going to sound racist and horrible, but if that was Michelle Obama, it would be on the cover of Vogue. It'd be on the cover of Cosmopolitan. It'd be on the cover of People. It was an amazing look.
Well, and you know what I like, too? Because I think she's, like, a nice person.
I think she is too.
She's like really good mom, and she's going and reading to kids, and she wants people to be nice to each other. Now people make a little bit of fun of her for that but I think that's how she really feels. And I think she's working on some things that are just fine for a first lady to be working on. And she gets no visibility for it. None.
And I got zero beef with her. Like none. Zero. People can have a beef with Donald Trump for, I don't like this and I don't like that and blah, blah, go for it. But I don't know how you can hate on the first lady. I just don't know how you can do it.
I don't either.
Oh my gosh. Trump's tweet last night. Hilarious.
Was this about Kim Jong-un calling him fat? Okay. That was last night.
It's classic comedy. Why would Kim Jong-un call me old? I would never call him short and fat. I just want to be his friend. I try so hard. It was the best. It was the best. It was the best. Like, framed in a question. And then, of course, like, the media today is like, Donald Trump doesn't like it that he got called fat or he got called old. And they're like, okay, they're terrified of this tweet. They are so terrified of this tweet and have to frame it negatively. It is classic comedy. Why would he call me old? I wouldn't call him short and fat. I just want to be his friend. I try so hard. I was jumping off the couch. I'm not even kidding. It's his masterpiece. It is his masterpiece. It's like when Da Vinci was done with the Mona Lisa or whatever, Michelangelo, Sistine Chapel. When you step back and look at it, you're like, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Just doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It hits all the right notes. Why would he come after me? I wouldn't call him this name. I just want to be friends.
No. But you can tell. You can so tell. So there's a lot of people who are pretty Trump critical, right?
Yes.
Even some of them were just like tweeting, that's a gimme. He won Twitter today. Yep. That's true dyed in the wool. Never Trumper established it. I can't believe it. Yeah, you just bore me now. You just bore me.
Yeah, if you see that as like Joy Reid or whatever from AM Joy, you know, this guy, like, he's crazy. Oh, come on. You are so jealous. And I tell you, Trump has been crushing it overseas. There's going to be, I'll tell you this right now. It's funny. You go back and you listen to old episodes of this show and you're like, wow, these guys, we were ahead of it, about talking about the changes in Saudi Arabia and all this wonderful stuff. You're going to see a lot of this. I'm sure they'll use it in ads. Trump went to China and was like, hey, China, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. So what they'll do is they'll go back for when Trump was running for president and China. And yes, he's absolutely right. What he did when in going to China was wonderful on a whole bunch of levels. He came out there and just said, hey, I ain't mad at you. You got us. You did it. And I can't blame you. You took advantage of a situation, just like I would, just like any other country would. So I'm not mad at you. I respect you. Now it's over.
It's over being the important part.
That is the coolest thing ever. And there's a wonderful thing where, like, if China ever felt like second-class citizens, if they ever felt like a third-rate country, they don't anymore. That's an American president looking across the table and going, okay, you hit me. And it hurt. And now we've agreed we can hit each other. So I can hit you. It's a wonderful. We're on the same playing field. And I think culturally, the Chinese respect that. It's just like, good for you. You got us. Now we're going to come back and we're going to do our thing. And then the other thing in his little speech over there, Trump is saying, like, you're looking out for China. Now I'm going to look out for the United States. Like all these other countries should be looking out for themselves. So we're all good, right? We're all good. Here we go. I loved it.
And I mean, I just don't get what the problem with that is.
I don't either.
Like, as a country, we have certain national interests. And by golly gosh, it's the president of the United States' job to protect those national interests.
It boggles the mind, and how people, and that's the other like interesting thing, and how we started like we don't fit in, because right now people are going, oh, I get it, Loftus and the Gypsy, they're nationalists, like no. I just like, listen, I live here, I want it to be nice. It's why I pick up garbage out in front of my stupid apartment in New York. I don't want it to be a crap hole.
Well, and it's not just that, but when you look at what the Obama administration was trying to do, he wasn't doing it. I have no problem with global trade. I think global trade is great. I do. I was in Fortune 500 businesses for 15 years. All right.
Humble brag.
Well, I'm just saying, international trades and supply chains and everything is awesome. It's great. But you don't go into it and give yourself 2 steps backwards to try to prop up somebody else just to get the deal.
Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Something's not right when I'm driving around. I'm from the state of Ohio. And it's wonderful. Like, I moved to LA, then I'd come back to Ohio every few months to do stand up and see family and all that other. And you would see, like, it's like watching time-lapse photography. Oh, there used to be this little community on the outskirts of Ohio used to be thriving. But the factory that was there that makes TVs, frickin' TVs, is gone. Like, how does that happen? Something's not right. And if it's, unfortunately, these people paid with their jobs and their livelihoods, and their community's been destroyed. And that's just a little snippet. That's just a little sliver of the great experiment. Something's wrong. Like, our trade deals are bad. Like, American TVs don't suck. Okay, well, it's too expensive. We can't compete. All right, well then, we need to figure out how to make a better deal. And that's how Donald Trump got elected. I really think so.
I would agree. And I mean, the oh my God, the TPP, that wasn't a trade deal. That was a European style social compact. Yeah, I mean, it had labor in there. It had climate change in there. It had everything in there.
And you look at these dorks, and that's the other thing where what Trump was saying on the campaign trail was ringing true. It's like, really? You want these dudes who a bunch of them are lawyers, talking about business deals. Now, I need a lawyer to negotiate my contract. But when it comes to if I'm a guy who makes plumbing fixtures and I'm going to start doing business overseas, I don't know how that lawyer is going to, oh no, the price of a washer in Da Nang is going to be 4.2. They don't know crap. Put a businessman in charge of the business. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it became a Donald Trump love fest. I guess it probably started with the tweet.
It started with the tweet, but I mean,
that was awesome.
One of the things I agreed with him on in the campaign was his stance on the TPP trade deal. It was bad. It was awful.
Every time you say TPP, I want to say, you know me. Who's down with TPP? Yeah, you know me. That's just where I am.
Trans-Pacific Partnership.
The Tranny Public Park.
Wow.
I don't know. Just it worked. Okay, so I think Trump in China, I think he's doing a great job. Good for him. We're equals. Good for you. You got us. Good for you. Okay, so now we're going to I'm just looking over my list of things that I wanted to talk about. A bunch of liberals got together and were screaming into the sky to protest Trump getting elected. And I thought, well, let's look at these idiots. Let's look at these morons. And you know what? I'm just going to be honest here. I saw some video of them doing it, and it looked like fun. They looked like they were having a good time. And I put myself in their shoes. Like if I'm like 22, if I'm a younger dude and I'm dating a girl
who hates men.
Yeah, I would take her out there to do that. I'm like, let's do it. Let's scream at the sky together like animals. Because that's good. Because it's not once you're screaming at the sky like an animal, banging is right around the corner. Like, wow, that felt good. I wonder why that felt good. Because we were howling at the sky like animals. You know what else animals do? You look good. Bow, chicka, bow, bow. That's totally like the lefty move. It's like I care about women and women's rights so much. You and I should start knocking boots in celebration of your womanhood. I want to celebrate your vagina with my dick in there.
Oh my God.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's just to get laid. And you see, it's
it is.
Go on YouTube and watch it. But like that's exactly which I love the hideous nature of that. Like that women like wrap themselves. I'm just looking for a guy in a pink knit hat who's going to celebrate me for me. Yes, I want to celebrate you for you. Now let's celebrate those titties out of that sweater.
Yeah, no, I'm going to celebrate the heck right. I'm going to celebrate the heck right out of you for the next 20 minutes, and then I'm not going to call.
And then I'm going to celebrate a sandwich. I'm going to celebrate an Uber ride. And then I'm going to celebrate blocking your crazy ass on my phone.
Right.
And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's totally self-fulfilling.
I thought we had something. We screamed to the sky together, and then I let him do things to me. Everybody's different, but I just I would totally do that. I would totally be that guy, and I would be good at it.
Clearly.
I would be pulling some really sweet liberal tail. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. You are, oh my gosh. Brenda, I realized something about myself just standing here screaming at the sky that I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of my urges and my wiener's gross. It's gross, and it doesn't deserve to be in your mouth. It's like Animal House when the guys go to get the chicks from the all girls college, and we're here to pick her up. And where is she? Oh, she died. She died in a kiln explosion. And they're like, oh, do you think you get dates for all my friends? That's exactly what it is. It's just. Yeah. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. So, ladies, if you're out there, if you're listening and you're screaming at the sky, watch out, because that dude just wants to bang you.
And he will block you on his phone. I promise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought we had something special. No, you didn't.
We had 20 minutes.
That's who I especially love. Watch in this massive tidal wave of sexual harassment, and this guy did this, and groping and fondling. It's like that German emotion where something bad happens to someone else and you get happy about it.
Really?
You've never there's a name for it.
Schadenfreude?
Yeah. I have that over these holier than thou people who women's rights, and then it turns out that he's just a dirty SOB like everybody else. I'm really enjoying it. I'm like oh my gosh, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer guy, Josh Whedon.
Yeah,
that one's been kind of delicious. But that was just him cheating. There's nothing. I want to make this abundantly clear with Joss Whedon. I enjoy the guy's work. That guy makes good TV.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets political and then he puts himself on the high horse, and I celebrate women and my and then it turns out he was cheating. You know what? Maybe come down off the horse, Josh. Joss.
The worst one is Will Wheaton. Oh my God.
Will Wheaton. I've met Will a couple times. Yeah.
His political takes are just painful.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know what that guy is doing. He's a super nice dude. I honestly, from my very, very, very brief run-ins, I used to do, when I first moved out to Los Angeles, I was involved in this thing called Acme Comedy Theater. There's a bunch of people from Mad TV who went on. The girl who does the voice of the wife and Family Guy was in the cast. We did okay for a while. Will Wheaton would hang out. Nice guy. Like super, super sweet guy. And like I'm saying, like Josh Whedon as well, Joss, whatever. It's like, just don't get your chin out there, man. Like, don't do it. If you know you have these skeletons in your closet, don't do it. Don't start throwing stones. Or like George Takei, he's getting a very big serving a humble pie right now. Oh my, I categorically deny this. I would never do that. And then you have him on tape on the Howard Stern show talking about, oh yes, some of these boys are just shy and they need to be coerced out of their underwear. It's like, dude, you can't. Oh, Donald Trump is a monster. Who would grab someone by the... and he's literally in his house. They come to my house and they're shy. Oh my. George Takei, like literally and you can find it. It's there. He's on Howard Stern, just laughing about it. And it's all wonderful, good. They come to my house and they don't really want to participate in the homosexual sex that I desperately want from them. And so, okay, well then I wouldn't keep talking about things.
I'm pretty sure I kind of like believe that guy a little bit more now.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I find frustrating. Like, I don't want to go down the what about this and what about that and what about this and what about that, which the media is just doing. It's like watching a snake eat its own tail. Let's just begin. Let's just say, as of this moment in the year of our Lord, we start counting now. Okay, so if Judge Moore down in Alabama is in trouble, then, well, George Takei is in trouble, and I swear Bob Menendez is in trouble. The silence coming out of the media and the Bob Menendez stuff, you've got some juicy stuff there. People they'll say, oh well, the reason with Judge Roy Moore, it's sexual activity with an underage girl. Okay, Menendez, you got prostitutes, you got money, you got all that. You still got sex there. Why are we not hearing about that? And that dude is on trial. It's not like these are some charges and we'll see what happens. The dude is on trial. I don't know why I'm not staring at a sketch of that dude in the courthouse right now. They just don't talk about it.
No, they don't talk about it. And what's really weird is I think it was in 2012-ish, Harry Reid actually put a statement out on the Democrats' website, the Senate Democrats' website, that a convicted felon should not be allowed to serve on the Senate. You know what no longer appears on the Senate Democrats' website? That statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just a heads up for everybody. This other stuff is going on. Yes, the Judge Moore, it's very salacious and underage girls and blah, 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 blah. But you're an idiot. You're a high-functioning idiot if you think that they just found out about it now.
No, this guy's been in public life for 40 years.
Yeah, that's the thing that drives me crazy, and I want to make this abundantly clear. I am not attacking the victim here. I am not going after the girl who is. That being said, why now? If this man did this horrific thing to you back, we didn't hear about this when he was in the primary.
When he was a judge?
Yeah. No, or wasn't it him versus some other guy to see who was going to be on the ballot for Alabama?
Oh, yeah. It was
the battle of the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you then?
But I mean,
where were these charges then?
He was also a sitting judge in Alabama for years. He also defied the Supreme Court by keeping the Ten Commandments statue that he was supposed to take down, or keeping it up, excuse me. He's had Democrat opposition in the state of Alabama for the entire time he's been in public life. Really? And some Washington Post reporter just strolls through town and these girls dump these stories on him? What?
Yeah.
And I'm not attacking the victims. I'm just saying this timeline just reinforces everything people think about the mainstream media.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that they're shouting it from the rooftops. You hear nothing about Menendez. Here's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If a person is a monster, immediately tell someone that they're a monster. Like, immediately. Do not wait. Do not go, well, because I can also see this. Like, well, Judge Roy Moore was X, Y, and Z, but I never thought he'd get more powerful than a judge. And then I was waiting to see who was going to win the Senate thing. And then when he won and it looked like he might become more powerful, I felt compelled to step forward. And that is a realistic argument. That is totally realistic. That, like, I was afraid when I saw he was about to become a senator, I couldn't wait. I had to come forward. That is legit. That is completely legit. However, I also want the equal thing with Bob Menendez and other people who are doing salacious deeds or are accused of this kind of thing. And I'm also a big fan of everybody gets their day in court.
Oh,
You're innocent until proven guilty.
And honestly, I think that is some of the biggest issue of what is going on right now, because for the vast majority of things that people are all of a sudden coming forward with, and again, until I have a reason not to believe them, I'll believe them, or at least believe it needs to be looked into, are so far beyond the statutes of limitations, you're never going to get a day in court.
Right.
You're just going to have these accusations. I mean, Roy Moore is never going to get a day in court against this accuser. It happened 40 years ago. You're just going to have to live with these accusations and kind of the stench it leaves all over you. It's the same with these guys in Hollywood. And in the case that it's not true, because women lie sometimes. I know I'm not supposed to say that because I'm a woman, but they do. They literally have to deal with the repercussions of that without ever being able to make a definitive, yes or no. And that's just the problem, because now it's like every day there's 3 or 4, and this one ran a sex ring, and this one did this, and this. Okay, when can we litigate it? And if we can't, what are we going to do with this information? That's what scares me.
I want to stay on point with the emotional part of it. If someone's a monster, tell somebody right away. Mm-hmm. Like right away. Don't. And it is brave. Like, mm-hmm. Seriously, if something horrible happened to you, it is an incredible feat of bravery to go tell somebody.
Yep.
But you gotta. Like, let's start now. I know this is starting to sound like a rally. However, it's like the Louis C.K. thing. And this is going to be a real mixed bag here, everyone. I'm going to be all over the board, so I'm going to apologize before I jump into it. I had heard the rumors about Louis C.K. and his particular brand of, I like to whack it in front of the ladies. Like, I'd heard it. It was kind of like common knowledge in the comedic community. Like, everybody kind of knew it. So, and this goes back to attacking the attackers, blah, blah, blah. So the New York Times does this big piece on Louis, where all these women came forward, and I gotta, this is going to sound horrible, and I know it before it's flying out of my mouth. If some dude said, hey, I'm going to whack it in front of you, and I'm a comic, and I'm like, okay, off his clothes, I'm like, okay, he's committed to the bit. Like, he's got a high level of commitment. And then he starts, once I see his dick, I'm gone. I'm gone. And you've got this comedy team, these two girls who said they were in Montreal or the Aspen Comedy Festival. Louis invites them up to the room, and then I'm going to whack it. They sit there. So it's not like you're there by yourself. You got your best friend with you, right? You've been through bad one-nighters with this girl. You've driven in cars around the country, horrible one-nighters. You can trust her. When he starts whacking it, leave. Leave the room and tell somebody. So obviously the guy's got a problem.
Clearly.
I don't know. And I tell you what, I will give him credit for this. He did 24 hours later. Yep, it's true. Yep, it's true. I thought it was cool because I would ask them and tell them what I was going to do, and they seemed to be okay with it. However, I was in a position of they respected me. They looked up to me, whatever. I shouldn't have done it. I'm messed up. I'm going to try to get help. That is the picture postcard of, I think, how to handle if you are messed up like this. People have different things. I'm very lucky that it's gotta be horrible if like that's your thing, whatever. I think Louis will be back. I'll make the prediction right now on this show that within 2 years' time he'll have another stand-up special. He'll be talking about it, and everything will be wonderful. But ladies, if this happens, leave the room.
Or hang up the phone. I mean, one of the women was on the phone.
Yeah,
okay, bye, click.
What's up with that? Oh, went into a tunnel. Sorry, didn't get to hear you finish.
Yeah.
So I have whatever. I won't do the true inside scoop on it. But yeah, if anybody can come out of this, it's going to be Louis C.K. The one thing that really irked me about his statement is at the end, he's like, I've made a lot of money. I've made a very good living talking. Now it's time for me to listen. I didn't like that. That was a little bit too cutesy. Oh, now it's time for me to listen. So that guy got dropped.
Oh, he got dropped from everything.
He lost his second Netflix special. He had 4 shows going in development or either on the air. A total of 4. His movie went away. Yeah,
an entire movie went away. Those, if I'm not mistaken, cost a little bit of money to make.
Yeah. However, it's a lot of dough. And whatever. I mean, and I'll say this, and this goes like I say that I'm like, sincerely, I've got some. Everybody has their own little thing. Like, and I talk about this on stage. Like, I wish I was in defeat. I really do. That's got to be the best one to have. Like, if you're into like women's
gross.
I don't want to judge. I really don't. This is a safe space. And I've talked like if you were in defeat, it'd be so easy, right? You could just go to the beach and like look at all the feet. You could go to the pool, flip-flops, open-toed shoes. The world is your oyster. No one's hurting you. Feet as far as the eye can see. But I guess Louis has this thing where, and here's the, like, I don't know what the end game is. Like, if you're a person, you're like, here's my thing. I like to masturbate in front of people who don't know I'm about to do it, or is that the thing?
You
like,
want to surprise people with it? I don't know.
If it is the surprise, but he tells them up front, I'm about to do this. So the surprise thing. And then, like, what is the end game? Like, the best moment of this, like, does it ruin it if you're in the middle of whacking in front of some person? And does it ruin it if they're like, yeah, oh yeah, or
do they have to be like stunned and disgusted?
Right, yes.
And
is that part? I want to know more about this deviant behavior. Like, is that the best when they look away? Because I tell you what, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for women. Dudes, at the end, what have I done? You're like, you pleasure yourself, and and then you're disappointed. You're like, oh man, I'm a loser. You're never. Yeah. At least I'm just speaking for myself as a human being. I've never like finished and been like, yeah, oh yeah. Like, it's never the proudest moment in your life. You're just kind of standing there like, geez, that. Yep. And then I want to know more about the behavior. We need to get like guests, like people who know about sex stuff on the show. What's the best case scenario? Oh, it was the best. I brought her up to the room. I started doing it. She was horrified, and then she ran out the door. I don't think you want that. Is it just the witnessing of the act? Okay, we'll get off this subject. However, I'm going to put air quotes around the victims. Like, get out of the room. Especially hang up the phone. This isn't cool. But then as a comedian, you're worried like, oh, wow, maybe Louis won't think I'm cool. And that's why you shouldn't have heroes. That's why you shouldn't have heroes. I read some dude on Facebook today was posting this thing about Louis C.K. I guess he worked with – and this infuriated me. This feature act. You got the opener who opens up the show. Then you got the feature act who does like 25 minutes. And then you have the headliner. This guy was doing a show with Louis C.K. He was the feature act. And he knew that Louis C.K. wrote on Saturday Night Live. So this feature act meets Louis C.K. And he's like, hey, do you know blah, blah, blah? Do you know blah, blah, blah? This guy that used to write on Saturday Night Live. This guy? Do you know this guy? Do you know this guy? And Louis C.K. is like, no, I don't effing know him. Like, let's just shut it down. I don't want to talk about this. So he shut it down. And the feature act, this kid was very offended. He was very offended that Louis would be like that. So he says at the end of the week, they're at the club, they're at the bar, and a lot of comedy clubs, they'll have the comedy channel on, they'll have Comedy Central on. And there was a Dane Cook special on TV. And Louis C.K. is looking up at the Dane Cook special, probably in disbelief. Probably just like, ugh, Dane Cook, blah. And the guy goes, so I go up to Louis C.K. and I go, isn't that Dane Cook funny? Like, went out of his way to take a dig at that Louis C.K. to talk about how funny Dane Cook was to like, and then he's like, a victory for feature acts everywhere. I'm like, no, man, you're just a jerk. You're just an ass. Like, I want to name names. I want to tell stories about this, and maybe I should. Maybe this should be a much more honest exchange. However, there's been people I met in social events who are stand-up comedians who blah blah blah. I would never mess up. I wouldn't be worried about messing up my career if someone that I thought, okay, that person's really funny and they have a lot of heat, if they started doing some wackadoodle junk, I would walk away. I had to stay, Louis C.K. And then now these two girls are like, yeah, it really hurt our career because really? I don't think so. Louis has problems. He needs help, but your career isn't on the rocks because you told. No, your career's on the rocks because you need a new closer. Booyah! Wonderful. You got very, very quiet there. I can understand.
There was some hypothesizing going on that I just couldn't help with.
What do you got? What do you got? I will answer.
Oh, no. You were looking for answers and I couldn't help.
Well, here's what I know.
That's all.
No, that's good. The world, there's some messed up people in the world, and people are always going to do this. It's true in Hollywood. It's true in comedy. It's true in politics. It's true in business. When someone has power and someone else wants something, there is a negotiation. Sometimes it's verbal, sometimes it's not. And I think power corrupts people. It's inevitable. And there may be a fringe benefit of me having this power. I could probably get this person to do X, Y, or Z. And so that they float that balloon. Some people are going to say yes, and they're okay. They sign the contract, they do the thing. And you're not cool with the negotiation, get out and tell somebody. And this goes back to why I want a smaller government. It is you get corrupted. You get, I'm going to be in office, and now you're a senator, and oh my gosh, if I pass this bill, they'll build that thing in my hometown. Those people will be happy. I'll invest in the stock, and I'll get the payoff. Ooh, there is a huge fringe benefit of me staying in power. Maybe it's sex, maybe it's money, but that's why I'm into term limits and smaller government. The Abe Lincolns of the world, the Mr. Smith goes to Washington, all of that stuff. I don't know how. You can do it for a little while. I think you can resist for a little while. But anybody who's been there for a super long time, take another look at them. Take another. I almost guarantee there's some hijinks going on.
Did you see the look that Saturday Night Live took at those Democrats that have been there forever and a day?
I couldn't even laugh at that because it was like the truth.
Oh, it was the truth, and that's why I found it so funny.
It was the commercial for the Democratic Party where they had Nancy Pelosi, they had Donna Brazile, they had Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, Schumer.
And it is true. It's like, Bernie. We're the Democrats and we're old. It was spot on. It was spot on. It was. They have no message. They have no vision. They have no new ideas. It's something that we've talked about a lot on this show.
But I mean, it's almost like they hit everybody. Politics. They hit everybody. They hit Elizabeth Warren. They hit Bernie Sanders. There was no wing of the party that they didn't hit. That's what amazed me. It wasn't like a preference for Bernie or we feel sorry for Bernie because of what was said in Donna Brazile's book, so we're going to hit these establishment hacks. It was the whole field.
I thought it was very safe by SNL standards. It was a good skit. Mm-hmm. It was good. It wasn't. It had no real. Just for me, comedically, it had no real bite to it because it's like I'm looking at a blue sky, and then Saturday Night Live comes out and goes, "There's a blue sky. It's a blue sky." Yes. You are. To me, it was just like they're stating the obvious. They have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go. The only thing they can agree on. And the thing is, the people in the Democratic Party would agree with the writers of SNL that, our leadership is not getting any younger. We don't have an idea that goes to the whole country. They can say it. They can go better jobs, better wages, better people. They can say that till the cows come home. They have no way of doing it. All they can do is say we should share more. And we should take that person's money and give it to this person and do wealth distribution. That's all they can do. Literally. The next step is just straight up socialism.
And reinforce every class of victim.
Oh.
Every class of victim. Everybody's a victim.
So done with that. I know. So done with that. I've really been hesitant, and I've been very good, and I've been biting my tongue because I don't want to be that guy. However, the identity politics, and now they're putting fake blood or red paint on statues of Teddy Roosevelt. Like, sweet Jesus, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? It's like I'm saying. We were talking about earlier, like, okay, so we're going to start today. We're going to start today. If this happens, you tell somebody, we're going to start today. Everyone's equal. Okay? Let's pretend the Constitution was written effing today. Mm-hmm. You're never going to get reparations out of me. I was never here. My family was never here. We came way after that. I don't owe you anything. Okay. What do you need? What do you need? Oh, I need a loan so I can start a small business and put it in this crappy neighborhood in St. Louis. Okie dokie. Let's look at your business model and let's figure out how to get you some money so you can hire some people and make your little neighborhood better and make the change where you live. Beyond that, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, these people don't have the same sing-a-pang-pang and they don't hing-gig-gig. Shut up, shut up, shut up. We're all equal. It starts today. The Constitution's the living document. Neener. I want to say a special shout out. I see we're running out of clock. I'm getting all fired up. I love it. I found out about this woman, Ella Darling. Rolling Stone just did a little write-up on her. I think this is fantastic. She has her master's in information science, a former librarian turned into a virtual reality pioneer, and she's a porn star. That's a wonderful thing only in America. That is, I like sex, I'm super smart, and I'm a entrepreneur, innovator, and inventor. I don't know how it gets better than that.
Nope.
Guys, I would be ringing this girl up and trying to get her to scream at the sky.
She doesn't sound like a sky screamer, though.
Oh my gosh, I'm like fascinated with this woman. I really want to have an interview with her. Mm-hmm. I'd love to have her on the show. It's like the women like this aren't supposed to exist, and I want to find the ones that do and celebrate them. Oh my gosh, master's degree, innovator, inventor, sex person. Good Lord, she should be on a stamp.
She should be on a stamp.
And it'd be fun to lick. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
It's the stamp that licks back.
Mm-hmm.
Ella Darling. Evidently she's into bondage and stuff, or maybe that's her niche. But anyway, I think that's great. And whatever. That's just
super smart is who she is. Just go with it.
Smart, sexy, inventor, not ashamed of her own sexuality. That's it.
Doesn't that seem like the ultimate goal of the feminism we grew up with?
I'm telling you.
Yes.
That would be. Why is her phone not ringing off the hook?
I don't know.
With feminists saying, "Holy crap, let's celebrate this woman." How come it's a wackadoodle?
Because she's allowing.
LoftusParty.com has to bring her to us.
She's allowing herself to be objectified.
Oh Lord.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know. I'm on your side. I knew you were kidding. And I'm like, the whole idea of that is just like so boring. And just like, listen, I want to be a housewife and I want to do crochet all day long. You're awesome. You are the best woman on the planet. If that is what you want to do, you are the best woman on the planet.
Yep.
Now, I like to take off my clothes and be naked in front of people. And then I like to put on virtual reality goggles and make a cajillion dollars. You are the best. You are also the best woman on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we don't have to be we are all equal. We don't have to be the same.
And we don't all have to think the same. God.
Exactly. So we're all misfits. We all kind of don't fit in except for here. So let other people know. We'll keep growing this thing. And it is a grand experiment, and we're going to figure it out as we go. And that's what I love about it. So thank you for listening. We got time to do a couple Michaeltopias. I believe you've got one. In the real world, you guys, there's crazy rules and laws we all have to live by. Nothing makes sense. However, in Michaeltopia, there's a different set of rules, and everything's wonderful. So, Liberty Gypsy, what do you got?
We've talked about this before. In Michaeltopia, the minute a machine says, I have feelings, we burn it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I would say we unplug it, then we burn it.
No, we destroy it.
What happened?
There's some crazy robot with like tinfoil on her head that gives an interview with some journalist and the robot talks about how it has feelings. That's not okay. It's not.
Is this the same robot that like kind of laughs and says you've been listening to Elon Musk too much?
I don't know.
Because there was recently some air quote AI thing that was like, oh, you've been listening to too much Elon Musk. Don't play around with this stuff. There's a guy that I work with who just thinks I'm wrong, right? We talk about AI and artificial intelligence, and he goes, I think it's going to be great. No. I think when the singularity happens and there is self-awareness in this, computer system, I think it's going to be great. And I go, well, there's a chance that they'll want to kill us all. And he goes, yeah, but they won't, and it'll be great. And so like it's a little dance we do, and it's all in good fun. However, there is a chance, and to me, here's the way it'll go down. A scientist will do this on their own. They'll just keep scientists like Elon Musk and all the other minds of today will go, hey, you probably shouldn't do that because there's a chance they'll try to kill us. And then the scientists go, you're wrong. And it goes back to my political beliefs, right? If I get everything I want politically, it doesn't hurt anyone. If you get what you want, it hurts me and everyone else. To the scientists developing AI, if I'm right and the intelligence decides to kill us, we all get hurt. Now, if you're right, which I don't think you are.
Neither do I.
Maybe it'll all be like, moonbeams and butterflies. However, there is a chance, and that's too big of a risk. You cannot risk it.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
In my Michaeltopia, we are very careful about our heroes. Let's be very, very careful about the hero worship. Everybody's got their own thing, and everybody should be able to have their own thing. However, when your own thing starts affecting other people, then it's bad. So George Takei, Louis C.K., all of the endless list of people that are happening, I'm sorry for everyone involved. Get help. In Michaeltopia, you get the help you need. Okay. Not the funniest of funnies for mine. I prefer the AI one.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying I preferred yours.
Oh.
It's going to be wonderful. Thanks for participating. It's a little bit of a longer show. I don't care. It's the internet. It's practically free. What do you people want? Thanks for subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you could, go to iTunes and hook us up with some stars and a review. That's wonderful. That's how things grow. I know it's a hassle, when you go to Facebook and you share the video. I know it's a hassle. I truly appreciate you doing it. I appreciate you subscribing to the YouTube channel, all of it. Have a great week. I love you. I just want to eat you up. Bye-bye.